She left it on the kitchen counter when she moved out, and I never gave it back. My ex and I were together for 4 years. The ring cost me 6 months of overtime shifts at the warehouse, every extra dollar I could scrape together. I spent weeks researching cut and clarity, talking to jewelers who probably thought I was insane for asking so many questions. When I finally bought it, I carried that little velvet box around for 3 weeks, waiting for the right moment. The proposal was perfect. She said yes. We started planning a wedding for the following spring. Then things started falling apart in ways I didn't see coming. Little arguments became bigger ones. She started staying late at work more often. I'd come home to find her on the phone with her sister, and those conversations stopped abruptly when I walked in. By October, we were sleeping in the same bed but living separate lives. The ring stayed on her finger through all of it, this beautiful, expensive symbol of something that was already broken. When she finally said she couldn't do it anymore, that she needed space to figure out what she wanted, she twisted that ring off her finger and placed it on the counter between us. "I can't keep wearing this," she said. "It doesn't feel honest anymore." She packed her things that weekend while I was at work: clothes, books, the coffee maker we'd bought together, but the ring stayed exactly where she'd left it. I told myself I was keeping it temporarily, that maybe she'd want it back, that maybe we'd work things out, but weeks turned into months and Alina never asked about it. She came by once to get her winter coat from the closet, and I almost mentioned it. The words were right there, but something stopped me. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was the way she seemed so relieved to see me, so much lighter than she'd been in our final months together. She looked happy, and I didn't want to complicate that by bringing up the ring. I started thinking about all the overtime I'd worked, all the research, all the planning. The ring represented more than our relationship. It represented 6 months of my life, money I'd never get back. When my brother got engaged a year later, I found myself looking at rings online again. The prices were insane, worse than when I'd bought Alina's. I kept thinking about that perfect ring sitting in my drawer. My brother's girlfriend had shown me pictures of what she liked: simple, classic, almost identical to what I already owned. I could give him the ring, tell him I'd found a good deal, help him save thousands of dollars. She was with someone new by then. I'd seen the pictures on social media. She looked genuinely happy, settled. The ring was just sitting there, doing nothing, worth more than my car. No one was being hurt by my decision to keep it. That's what I told myself anyway. I never gave it to my brother. Something about that felt too weird even for me. But I never returned it to Alina either. It's been 3 years now. She's married to someone else, wearing a different ring that probably cost half what mine did. Sometimes I wonder if she ever thinks about it, if she assumes I sold it or returned it to the jeweler. I've thought about reaching out, but what would I even say? "Hey, I still have that ring from when we were together, want it back." It feels more awkward now than it would have been right after the breakup. The ring sits in my nightstand drawer, still in its original box, still perfect, still worth a fortune, still a reminder of something that ended badly but maybe didn't have to end with me keeping something that was never really mine to keep. What would you have done? Tell me in the comments.